name is Emily Kanan. I'm the creative director at Eau de la Rose and the founder of Bastille Flowers and Events. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to take you through step by step how you can make your own tulip composition at home. This time of year, you should be able to find tulips just about anywhere. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, your local supermarket or corner deli. And what's beautiful about tulips, I think when you design them in abundance, obviously 10 stems of tulips, that's gorgeous, but if you're going to make a really nice, impactful composition, I would say 30 to 50 stems is really great. So today we're actually going to use 50 stems. I've already prepared about 40 of them. I've cleaned the foliage off of them, and they're ready to go into our arrangement. This particular tulip that we're working with today is called a frill tulip. It has such a beautiful detail to the edge of the petal. And people call it a frill tulip or an eyelash tulip. There's all these beautiful little ruffling along the edge of the petals, which we absolutely love. This is a fun little trick. When you have tulips, you can actually help them open. Just kind of push the petal back gently, like your thumb under and your index finger on top. It's like a little motion like this. And then you can actually just transform that tulip. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? We're not going to do that today because I have 50 stems we're working with, but if you're at home and you have 30 stems, it's not going to take you as long as 50. So now you know how to do this, which is fantastic. Now I'm going to show you how to clean the stems of the tulip so we can prepare it for our design. I've got 3 different leaves on here that I want to take off. What I suggest doing is start from the bottom. You kind of put your thumb in there and you want to peel it off. You don't want to just pull it down, because a lot of times when you pull it down, you get like these little miscellaneous pieces that are left on, and it creates more work for you. So I like to use my thumb and kind of break it off at the side and peel around. So now, as we design our arrangement, we're actually going to be using the surface of this table. We're going to lay them all down, and as we're laying them, we'll probably do like 10 or 12 across, and then we're going to start to stack them up, kind of like what you see over here. So, same thing, get a little thumb action in there. It's a little break, twist, and peel off. And if you have any little stragglers like that, just pull them off. When we're working with tulips for special occasions, a lot of times we'll come in with our knife and shave off these little bumps because we want a really clean stem. But for what we're doing today, this is absolutely fine. So one by one, I'm going to clean the stem. Sometimes you'll see dirt in here. Not to worry. You can still continue with making your composition. And then after you cut your stems and before you insert them in the vase, you can dip them in a little water or rinse them off in your sink to clean the stems off. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. Just twist, peel, pull, twist, peel, pull. So that's why I did a lot of this ahead of time, because this is the part that takes the most time. Oops, that's not a good one. Something else to think about when you are shaping your arrangement, because now we're laying everything down on our table. There are times when your tulips can have very different stem shapes. So just the way I'm holding these now, you see naturally how this one's bending outward, this one is as well, and this is more upright. So as we make our composition and we're laying these on the table, anything that has a right bend, we want to put it on the outer edge. Anything that has a left bend, also we put it on the left outer edge. And anything that's straight like this will fit really nicely in the middle. So that's just think about your shape. That way it helps keep you organized as you go. And I know, because I have 50 tulips, I'm going to create a little space for me, because this has sort of an outward bend. I'm going to make that the outer edge of my arrangement, and I can gradually fill inward as I go. Okay. Almost there. So, making progress. I'm almost done cleaning. I think I had 12 tulips here. So then from there, I'm going to start to pull from the ones I've already cleaned. Oopsie, lost a petal on that one, so that one's not in the best shape. So we won't worry about it. So now I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to start to align them nicely here. And again, because I cleaned them already, I'm going to look at the shape of the stem and I'm going to place. And as I'm placing, I want my heads to be even. And as I stack higher, I want them to stay even. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. When you're working at it from this angle, it's always hard to get a full assessment of how the blossoms are looking. And if they're aligned properly, you can always step aside and go to the front and see how it's looking. So, oopsie. So that's perfect. Tulips grow 1/2 inch a day, so that's something else that is really interesting. And they also grow towards the light and the heat. So if you want your tulips to last, it's best to keep them in a cool area, away from a window. And they like cool water. All good things to know. If I ever have tulips at home and I want them to last even longer, and I have room in my refrigerator, you know, I'll push things aside and nestle my arrangement in the fridge at nighttime. And it probably get 3 or maybe 3 additional days out of the life of the tulip. So just little tips. So as we are layering here, it's looking really beautiful. I'm gonna keep going. And then after this, what we're gonna do is we are gonna gather the tulips I'm gonna gather the tulips in my hands and then cut the stems. Now, when you're using your vase, what I would suggest doing is you can measure, you know, the interior depth of your vase, and then you can measure it against your stem. So I can tell from this that I could probably go a little bit shorter. You know, that's basically about where the last leaf is where we want our measurement to end. So from here to here is probably about 7 inches. So I would cut my stems at that 7-inch mark from the last leaf to the end. But we're not going to cut them yet. I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. So I have clear elastics. These are little goodie clear elastics from Walgreens or Duane Reade or any supermarket. So that's what we're going to use to bind the stems together. You can use tape if you want. If you have to use Scotch tape, it's better to double it up, or you can use wire or rubber or just a regular household rubber band. And I have clippers that I'm going to use that are really sharp. So the next step is I'm going to gather it in my hands. So my thumbs are sort of touching the back of the front of my hand here, still allowing for the flat portion of the composition to remain flat. So you guys can see that. Really cool. And then what I'm going to do to make the shape of the arrangement, I'm going to start to curl these fingers, my index finger, or my 4 fingers here. I'm starting to roll them inward like this. I'll show you. All right, like get your fingers out of the way, and you start to make a bouquet. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So now I'm going to pretend I measured. Well, I actually did. So that's another good tip. You could measure 1 stem in your vase, cut it so you know the length that you want, and then use that as your guide as you cut the rest of the stems. So that's the next step. I'm cutting with my clippers. If you don't have clippers, you could actually rest this. You could hold it really tight, rest it on a cutting board, and take a knife and just cut right through it all. If you have another helper in the house, they can hold one end, you hold this, and as they're holding this end, it gives you some stability to cut it. So let's just give this a nice right across. And then what we'll do now that after we make the cut is we're going to slide the clear elastic over the stems. So, you know, you need a firm grip for this. So I'm just roll those on the floor. And in this case, I'm going to use 2 elastics just so it's nice and secure. So I've put that over my hand like that. Just going to stretch it open, go around the bottom of the stems, and just push it up, just like that. And then, let's see if I can get it to stand. Oh. And here we have a beautiful vase. I left the water level low because when you're adding this this many stems to a container, you're gonna end up pushing a lot of water out of the vase. So if I had filled this up where I normally would, it would overflow. So starting with less water, I'll put the flowers in and then we'll see where we are with the water level and I can add water after. And of course I've put flower food in here, which is a really great thing for you guys to use. It acts as like vitamins and preservatives. And the best thing of all, actually, is to just change the water every day. Nice, cool, fresh water. Woo! Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm gonna turn it around. So in this case, I mean, how gorgeous is that for your coffee table or your dining room table? So what I would do here, I'm not gonna do it because I don't have any water next to me, but I would fill the water to the line of the clear elastic. And then you have a really striking, beautiful composition. And the other thing is you can do this for your home, or you can actually be inspired to do this as a gift for somebody. So it doesn't take a whole lot. And you can find vases, you know, at Michael's or sometimes even the local store where you're purchasing the flowers might have a vase. So I hope this has been really inspiring, and I hope that you are going to feel the urge to make your own tulip composition. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.